Gentlemen, thank you for joining the WiseNuts here today at the Glen Arden Cigar Lounge in Glendale. We've got Reggie Wright Jr. with us and James McDonald, a.k.a. Mob James. Both figures closely linked to the rise of Death Row Records. Let's get to it, huh? Reggie, I remember last year you mentioned roughly about a year ago how September of 2024 you suspect that Diddy was going to be indicted and arrested. How did you know that?
Well, it was actually, I didn't start naming the date of September until after the raids in March is when I predicted that September would be about the time the government get their case together. But yes, you're right. Prior to that, I was saying Diddy's going to jail. I just hadn't put a September date. But man, you just hear, after the allegations, I take it all the way back to when the BET, when I saw him on the stage crying out to Cassie, and I was like, oh, something going on. And then, of course, we learned in November, right after Thanksgiving, that she had filed that lawsuit, and then the fool settled a day later. And then you're like, okay, because I'm one that believes where there's smoke, there's a big fire.
Yeah.
And so it was just only obvious and writing on the walls that shit was going to start happening.
Now, speaking of Cassie, she approached, or her attorneys approached Diddy about 2 years prior, right? Yeah. And she asked for $40 million out of court settlement, threatening to write a tell-all book if he doesn't accept the offer. Why do you think he declined, knowing that there was so much dirt?
Arrogant. The man is very arrogant. And one thing about those men, we think we got the mind. We can control a woman, especially a woman that he had been doing all the alleged things that he has been doing to her over the years. We think we got their mind. And so we think, like a pimp, how you treated your girl, but until that pimp chose somebody else, that's usually when you lose control. And I think he didn't realize that he had lost control, that her husband had this new control, and it was she was a different young lady than the one that he was used to.
And that's when, now you said he ended up settling, this was what, right? Was it right after the video, the hotel room video came out, or when was it that he decided to settle?
The video didn't even come out until months later. It was one day after she filed the complaint in the courts that they didn't settle. Now, there's a lot of people will say that his insurance companies, of all the different companies that he had, is the one that really made him go ahead and settle. But I'm sure his attorney had contacted all of those people during that whole 6 or 7 months, or as you say, 2 years, that they had been going back and forth trying to, get a settlement from him.
I think maybe part of it was he was afraid if he settled, then so many other people were going to come out of the woods,
well,
right?
What happened?
And
if he'd have settled when she asked for the money, it would have been between them. Nobody would have known, and he'd have been all right. Nobody else would have came out. She just opened the door for everything to come.
He messed up.
Yeah, big time.
He messed up.
And now what? He's facing 47 charges, right? From sex trafficking, transportation, weapons charges, and even RICO.
Well, at this time, there's only 3 charges that's been officially filed against him.
Mm-hmm.
Just 3, and then about, as today's date, which, the first part of October, he only has about 12 lawsuits filed against him, civil. But trust me, by November, we talking, it's going to be more people indicted. It's going to be more victims and witnesses that we're going to hear about.
Why November, though?
Well, that's just because now, even last week, the government met with a gentleman that they gave a proffered agreement to that turned over a tape and has also admitted that he had homosexual relationships with Diddy. And so that's why they had to get him in jail. A lot of people be like, well, why they only put one charge on him? Why they only have one victim? It's because, y'all got to remember, Diddy has a song out there bragging about how they put $1 million on your head, the allegations against Tupac Shakur, the gentleman that got his car set on fire. And so people were fearful coming forward and being witnesses, being victims. Were fearful. But now, him being behind bars, and they seeing this floodgate of suits and people not being fearful of him, it makes other people a little bit more willing, in the government's mind. I'm not saying if it's true or not, but in the government's mind, it's like, okay, now they're ready to talk. They're going to come and talk to us. People are going to be more freely to turn over tapes. People are not going to be as scared. He's not going to be out there and able to put money on the streets to buy people off, as he was doing. He called one young lady 100 and over 40-some times in 3 days. I ain't called this nigga James, who I consider a brother, 140 times in a year.
Right.
In a year. In a 3-day period. And then another young lady 50 times.
What do you think he was trying to do with these ladies? Pay him off? To pay him off?
Pay you off, whatever. First I'm coming at you mean. Then I'm coming at you nice. Then she probably seen so many emotions from Puppy during that time.
Now, he was supposed to turn himself in that Tuesday, right?
Correct.
But then Homeland Security picked him up on a Sunday, 2 days prior to him turning himself in.
Yeah,
why Homeland Security,
though?
Sunday,
but I know that it was like a day before. I think it was actually that Monday.
It was Monday?
And he was supposed to turn himself in on a Tuesday. But you know why they did that? Because now he can't come into court and be like, Your Honor, I'm not running. Look at me, I'm cooperative. They told me to turn myself in. I came and turned myself in. That was all done for the bail hearing, just for the government to be able, because their plan right now in September is just to get him to shut up, to stop harassing witnesses and victims. They're right now are working that case. The government has, as we always say, the government takes their time to get you. I know people that's been out on pretrial motions and all of that for a year or 2 years. There are guys that's sitting in NBCs and all of that right now that's fighting a case for 3 to 4 years because they take their time and they work their case up. And that's what they're doing to Diddy. And like I said, their ultimate goal is to get his money. That's their ultimate goal. But
so why they didn't take the $50 million?
$50 million is nothing to what he has. And plus they want him in prison because they also want to put it the time. But he wasn't offering $50 million. He was offering $50 million worth of assets of his. And so that's just, hey, here, take my house. Take my house in California. That house that over there is worth $70 million. That's all that is.
But Puppy's situation is bigger than that because you got a lot of hired people that are afraid he's going to talk and expose them. So he got a lot to worry about.
Yeah, well, you just asked about a house. I ain't telling you
No,
what's
I'm just
the goal.
saying it's more to it than, okay, Puppy got to go through this, they did that. Them people need to keep Puppy where they know where he at and maintain
witnesses.
what the fuck he talking about.
Those are witnesses.
The whole nine.
Yeah, those are witnesses and the victims and the people that I'm talking about. You heard the first thing the New York U.S. attorney said was, y'all better come and talk to us before we come and talk to you.
No, I'm talking about the hired people.
Well, he's talking to them too. No government don't care about them. I'm not with that conspiracy stuff. Well, they protecting the alcohol company. No, they trying to put a motherfucking pedophile in prison and take his money. Is what they doing.
Okay. I think what James is saying is that there's so many other people hire, whether it's athletes, whether it's celebrities, artists or whatnot, or even politicians, that they're either afraid of those videos being exposed, so they're going to try to put this guy in prison and go pick up all those videos.
You don't think that FBI agent and them have it? Who do you think leaked that abuse, that assault case in that happened in a hotel? The government.
Speaking of that, we have a clip, Joe, if you want
to. So they got.
Surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs wearing only a towel, assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says, as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can then be seen throwing an object in her direction.
How does that make you guys feel? I mean, looking at that video, watching how he's just beating on her.
It's not his first time whooping on her ass like that. And my thing is, if you in a relationship like that, you have so many times to run. She stayed there for years and allowed him to do that. And then they come back and they cry wolf. That's why I don't feel for her like that. But watching him kick her and he's full of it. He's full of it. And he should go to jail for it. But all his victims it's been 10, 15 years. Now they all crying wolf. Even men, gangsters, is crying wolf. Why? You gonna cry whooping now? You want the world to know that you've been fucked up your ass and it's about the money? It ain't worth it. And I don't know how the law is allowing people to come after 15, 20 years to say, he grabbed my titties, he grabbed my ass, and that's 5 years in prison. That ain't fair.
Well, he's not in jail for the assault, one. And then two, people do have psychological issues where they have to go and get treatment and to be able to become strong. And when, like you said, you have people that, have set cars on fire, women and people are afraid. I'm not going to let you get away with
drug me.
All people, like I said, but people that haven't shown that they went and got some type of treatment and stuff like that, I totally agree with you. But for the people that has been dealing with it, has been getting psychological help and show that they've been going through all of that, then I give them a pass.
So if they ain't never went and got help, counselors, none of this shit, 15 years later, now it's time for me to run because it's getting worse and worse. An ass whooping is an ass whooping, but to what degree? So now you done got your ass whooped for 15 years. Now this dude been raped 10 times over. The course of 5 years. Now you want to say he raped me too? Is he breaking the law after the second time he have sex with you? And you allow him to? You showing up on videos with him? You holding hands with him? You doing all of this? What gives you the right to say?
What gives you the right? What gives you
the right to say?
What gives you the right to sit up here and say that, that she shouldn't complain? What gives
me the right? Because she waited 15 years, however long they wait. And if you wait 10 years to say he been raping me for 10 years, but you're free to move about how you choose to, then it's something wrong with her. It's something wrong with her. It's something wrong with the people that she talking to, that she's letting know what's going on. If this man raped me, you done passed 900 police officers within that time to say this man did this. Get your money that way. Sue his ass because he raped you. He'd have been in jail a long time ago, and you wouldn't have as many victims as you have today.
And like I said, the only ones I'm defending right now are the ones that have psychological issues and that's trying to deal with the psychological point of this of this thing.
Now, Reggie, you were in law enforcement years ago, right? 30-some years ago.
Yes, sir.
Compton, was it Sheriff's
Compton
Department?
Finest. No, never no sheriff. Compton PD.
Compton
Police
PD.
Department.
Compton's PD. So, have you dealt with such situations where, let's say, women would come to you and report abuse, and during your you were what, 5-6 years in the Compton PD?
I was there for 11 years.
11 years.
However, I get what you're saying, and no, we didn't start learning all of this stuff until the Oprah Winfrey shows and Dr. Phil's and all of this stuff. You know, this is the new stuff where we learning about psychological part of things and how things affected us. I mean, we used to get our butts whooped. We didn't have fucking time out or stuff like that. We got butt whoopings and some got, you know, fortunately.
What that got to do with being raped over and over and over again?
We're talking about knowing this shit is wrong or right. We didn't know that this stuff was wrong until after OJ.
You don't know when somebody go on your butt?
Nigga, as a cop, we used to go and take and take you after you whoop your woman butt and all of that. Come on, take you out of the house and drive you around the corner. Now they take your ass to jail because of after OJ and the domestic violence stuff is what we're talking about. And so, my point is, we didn't get educated to all of this stuff. Now, with the priests and the Catholic churches and all of that, how you get all these victims coming out now and talking about what the priest was doing to them and stuff like that. Now there's an issue because we understand. Number one, it's wrong, and it's been exposed. Back then, stuff like that used to get swept under the rug. Man, there's been so many people that have been molested and stuff like that that's grew up. Oprah Winfrey herself, as smart of a woman as she is, didn't go and tell about her molestations and stuff until 25 years later. That's just how it was back then.
But even Oprah herself, right? Queen of media. She's got so many photos with P. Diddy, Weinstein. I don't know if she has any pictures with Epstein, and all these guys are now doing time or will be doing time for the same.
People hang with each other. I'm not gonna let you put that on them. Just because you took a picture with somebody and all that, don't mean you was a part of that crazy nonsense.
You don't have to be rich, Reggie.
Okay,
rape.
we talking about Oprah. We talking about a rich person. That's the only reason I said that.
But what's the difference? Because she rich, it's the same thing. It's the same effect.
My point was, Oprah and all of those people like that is even talking about stuff like this 25 years later. We didn't know all of this, or we didn't know how to express all of this stuff in the 80s and the 90s that's going on and bringing it to light. It's a lot of, I know a lot of females that have been molested and all of that and never brought it up. But now things come out. It could be going on to young girls now, but now we're talking about it. Our parents, our teachers, and everybody is talking about it. Well, I think stuff is coming out more now in 2024 than things that was coming out in the 80s and the 90s. To go back to the Oprah comment, I'm just saying, just because you was at the party, don't mean you went to the after party.
But where I agree with James is, I remember there was even a video of Mike Tyson sitting next to P. Diddy, and P. Diddy moves his hand towards Mike's leg. Mike Tyson, of all people,
he knew he was a faggot back then, but he didn't know he was doing party shit. But he knew Tupac been telling us since '95 that he was gay and he was, fruity as Alizé. Well, he's talking about Dre's fruity as Alizé, but he called Puffy Buffy and all of that back then. So people know the allegations and stuff, but
knowing it, I'm talking about victim. The word victim.
Okay.
And all of these people, all of these women and men calling themselves victims. See what I'm saying? So here we have a time limit from 10 to 15 years ago, right? Why not say this motherfucker is raping, this man is raping me repeatedly, this man is drugging me, this man is going up in my rectum, and I come to, my butthole hurt, and you a grown man. You're a grown man, and you walk out the door, and then it happened again, then it happened again. Then you wait 10 years later to say, oh, wait a minute, hold up, I got to say.
I'm not defending no victims. I told you the ones I'm defending. I'm defending the ones.
But rape is rape, though, right?
Huh?
Being assaulted
all of
is
it
being
is
assaulted. So why you not defending them and you defending them? What's the difference?
Because some knew And like you said, kept going back and back and back and back versus some that just woke up. Like the one recent victim, she just said she just saw it because she heard about somebody sent her a picture of her doing porn. She knew she woke up and her pants was down and all that, but she was out of it. She didn't know what happened. But then when she saw it on camera, then she was like, whoa, this is what they did to me.
That's one. That's different.
Everybody has a situation.
It only happened to her once, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm talking about the ones that constantly.
And I'm not defending them.
Okay.
I'm not defending them. I'm defending the example that we were talking about,
right,
about the psychological part.
Okay.
That some victims, some people didn't know or were dealing with it, didn't know I don't have a problem with coming forward.
Okay.
I agree with you on the ones that, and I just had a segment on Ball First where I talked about it, where I said the ones that just coming out that went 4 or 5 times to the different parties and all of that, that's coming. I have a problem with those lawsuits.
So you agree with me? A predator is a predator, whether he's a broke one or a rich one.
Oh, definitely.
All the time.
I don't excuse anything that Diddy done.
Okay.
Anything.
It's easier to be a rich predator because then you could pay people off to stay quiet, right? Versus if you got no money, I mean, the chances of somebody knocking on your door.
Why most people don't come forward is because they don't see it. They didn't believe that or they think it just happened to them. They don't realize that he's been doing this to other people, or other people's going to believe it.
Not these people.
Those are the only reason I believe the attorneys are taking the case now, because one, they seen how quick that he settled the case.
Money, yeah.
How quick he settled the case, and that they wasn't just the only ones. There's an attorney right now in New Orleans or Louisiana, I think, that has 50 victims. He has 50 victims that he said is about to come forward and do this big lawsuit against Diddy.
Because allegations say that he forced women and men into taking drugs like ecstasy, cocaine, Viagra, which led to sexual assaults during the freak-offs. Some say since the 90s he would spike the drink secretly. Right. Do you believe this to be true, or are the feds just trying to throw different stories and see whatever sticks?
I heard Mark Curry, who was a artist on his label, talk about the drinks and how they were, and how people knew not to mess with those and touch those drinks. I heard his ex-bodyguard, who was only with him from the time frame of like 1995, Mr. Gene Deal, until about 2003, has said he even knew about these particular drinks and stuff like that. So people been knowing about it and talking about it since 1995, these particular drinks that he would do and how people take. We talking about a guy that just because he saw Kadada Jones at a particular event, pissed in a jar that they thought was water and was going to have Kadada Jones drink that, Quincy Jones' daughter. This guy is no saint. So if it appears like I'm coming off protecting him, it's definitely not what Reggie Wright is doing. I'm just understanding why sometimes there's a lag time in complaining or bringing it to law enforcement or to the appropriate person for the case to be investigated.
James, would you consider P. Diddy the Epstein of hip hop?
Consider him what?
The Epstein of hip hop. You know who Epstein is?
Yeah, Diddy is a predator like the rest of them in the music industry. He ain't the only one. R. Kelly ain't the only one. There's a whole bunch of them out there that's sleeping with these young girls, traveling from here to there. He ain't the only one. But yes, he's a pedophile. He's the worst of the worst. He doing a lot. But half of these other guys ain't got caught yet. But he ain't by himself. This shit been going on for the longest.
And remember, the only problem is the drugging part and the underage.
That's the only problem.
The underage, the drugging, and then the one that are alleging that they were forced out of fear.
Wait a minute, what's the difference?
Well, because you saying because he was doing it with a man or a woman. I'm just saying that ain't the problem. The problem that we're discussing is the underage, the drugging part, and maybe the force by fear. It's the only thing that I feel Diddy did wrong.
Every victim Diddy has, Reg, it was against their will. They were drugged.
You just said that they wasn't, and they kept going back.
No, I didn't. You ain't listening. You ain't
listening
listening to what we talking about.
Make up which one.
Next question. He ain't listening.
Which one you gonna say?
I didn't say. No, I didn't say that.
I comprehend very well.
No, not today. You didn't.
But why do you think the local FBI did not go after him? Why Homeland Security? Because Homeland Security.
Well, they deal with trafficking. That's their. That's under their jurisdiction now. It's sex trafficking.
Even if it's domestic. The Homeland
domestic would be the local police department. When they start going across state lines, is what made it a federal crime.
That's why Homeland Security got involved.
Or the feds, yes, the government, versus this is a city or a county police agency.
Now, there's been multiple statements that have been made that Diddy would secretly tape the freak-offs, using the footage as leverage against artists, athletes, and even some politicians. And do you believe this all was just to go get a hold of some tapes? You mentioned earlier, Reggie, how you said you think the feds already have these tapes in hand.
Well, after the raid.
After the raid.
Yes, sir.
But you don't think they did that to protect these higher,
No.
the politicians or some of the other music producers, whoever else is involved?
No. I don't believe that was their reason for starting this investigation. No. A lot of people will say because of his relationship or the alcohol company not protecting them anymore. But I really believe it stemmed from the lawsuit from Cassie and then Little Rod. I believe they had been contacted him back in March, and they had those videotapes. And I believe they know, as I know, that guys like to keep guns that they use to commit murders, and pedophiles or people like that like to keep trophies and tapes. And that's why they went into their house, into his homes. Now, the question that most people should be asking that they're not asking is why didn't they go to his house in the Hamptons? Why didn't they go to his location he has in Atlanta? Why they just went to Miami and to L.A.? That would be a question that I would ask the government. So if you believe he has all these tapes and doing all these things, why he only went to 2 of his 4 locations is what raised up my
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
You don't know.
That would be that's the $20 million question. However, I do know and believe that they have the tapes now. That he kept them because I know how people that weird like that like to hold on to trophies, and I believe those trophies is now in possession of the government.
Joe, we have a video of Suge Knight, right, where he's warning Diddy of, I guess, getting sloppy or that eventually it's all going to catch up to him. Can we go ahead and show that clip real quick?
I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets, who's involved in that little secret room you guys participating in. So, you know they're going to get you if they can. It's a little crazy how Puffy get booted out the alcohol business and Jimmy Iovine steps in with Andre and Snoopy promoting it. It's never a good look when it comes to culture of hip-hop and for our community, of our people. I turn myself in. Sometimes you gotta face the music. That's most of the time. Puffy, I'm gonna give you some real advice. 2 quick things. You gotta make a decision. When you go to prison, either you're gonna be standing up pissing or squatting sitting down pissing. I advise you to try to take the first one, because if you're squatting pissing on the seat, you know what that means. Oh yeah, by the way, do not do your time going by Brother Love. Brother Love is not a good code name for prison. I'm out.
Now, James, do you think Diddy went against the higher powers and that's why they decided to bring him down? Or do you think he just got sloppy? Or because it seems to kind of all of a sudden everything is falling apart for him. And why do you think that is?
It ain't just Puppy. Puppy fell up under the Suge Knights and everybody else. Power. Everybody can't possess power. Everybody don't know how to deal with power. And those guys had a lot of power. I mean, basically untouchable to a certain extent. And Puppy just got into him. Just like Suge and everybody else that fell at the wayside with, being that guy. Being rich, being powerful. Everybody can't possess power. And they showing it to you. They get out there, they get a taste of it, they feel it, they strong, and they do what they want to do. Once they get away with it, we know we good. And they continue going downhill. Not knowing it, but they just don't know how to deal with the power. They don't know how, it's new. And power is the motherfucker. If you don't know how to use it, and you're going to die by it or go to prison.
Interesting perspective. You agree with that, Reggie?
Oh, I agree with everything he said. I just don't agree that, I'm one of those that believe it's a learned situation. Suge Knight said it recently on the podcast that he was on. I have heard Gene Deal, Puffy's ex-bodyguard, said as well, that it was simply that he learned it from the Clive Davis of the world, the Jimmy Iovine's of the world, the Russell Simmons of the world. I don't know anything about Andre Harrell, but that's who they said they were doing stuff like that. And he passed it on and passed it down, attempted to pass it down to Usher and Justin Bieber.
Why do you keep doing what you're doing? I don't mean to cut you off, but why do you do what you do and just drive yourself, running yourself into a brick wall, controlling women, controlling men? Once you get that power, you just go crazy. You just go crazy and you start driving faster and faster. This ain't nothing but a wreck.
Yeah, but when that's all you saw, when you seen the people that you looked up to, and that's how they did it, and that's how they dealt with it, then you're going to try to emulate what they're doing.
Okay, so paying attention to Suge Knight, instead of learning a lesson to see that I'm a millionaire today, tomorrow I'm doing 28 years. You don't take that as a learning experience? You don't see why he's in the situation he in? And all of these other rappers that's in prison doing life, you don't see why? Just a little taste of money, just a little taste of power. Just understand what I'm saying. Power and money is the rule of all evils. If I got power and I don't know how to use or play chess, I'm up shit creek.
Well,
it's just a matter of time.
What are we talking about, Diddy though?
Diddy and all of them. The power destroyed Diddy, Reggie. Okay. Did it not?
I was just explaining.
No, you trying to act like you don't understand what I'm talking about.
I understand
power,
what you're saying. I'm just
control.
I'm just wondering how that relates to
all of their downfalls. Every last one of them. Suge, and you might be mad because I'm missing the Suge, punk ass, but Suge and all of them. This is why they where they at today. For real. This is why they where they at today, because they thought they had power and didn't know how to possess what they had. Instead of being businessmen, conducting business as is, office, work, home. No, they street motherfuckers. And the power of the streets, man, control everything. So if you don't know how to possess that or carry it or wear it, then your ass gonna wind up in jail. Name one that don't. Name one gangster out there ain't went to jail or been killed.
Ice Cube?
Ice Cube ain't no gangster. Ice Cube is a businessman. Go home, do him. Ice Cube ain't in the club fighting everybody.
Master P?
Master P, he slowed down when he knew it was time for him to stop.
Russell Simmons?
Didn't Russell packed his bags and moved to Belize now?
The majority of those guys seen where they was going.
Yeah.
The majority of those guys got it right here. I'm a train wreck. If I don't get my SHIT together, then this is the only two places I'm going to wind up. That's it. And there's no other place for none of us out there that's on some gangster shit and trying to live a real life and just want the power, want to be that shot caller, want to be the leader. We ain't got no other choice.
Oh yeah,
death
and
or
don't
prison.
forget Dre and Snoop.
What about them? They not gangsters. They learned their lesson.
You want to take everybody gangster from just because they
No,
not gang
after Snoop trial, you don't see Snoop out there on no bullshit. You don't see Snoop doing. I don't. Let me
Snoop
say
got
me.
arrested for guns and all of that. After
Okay,
that.
I ain't heard of it.
Yeah, well he did.
You just this power's a mother.
So what's gangster to you? Because you grew up in Compton, right?
I
Yourself.
grew up a gang member, gang banger.
Yeah.
I didn't do the gangster shit. I was just a gang banger.
And you were part of Mob Pyru,
Yeah,
which is a
it's a blood gang.
Blood gang.
In Compton.
so how was it like growing up as a gang member? I mean,
I can only speak for me. Sometimes we don't have a choice. Going to school, I was in the 3rd grade, fighting the same guys I was hanging out with because I was new in the neighborhood, and they wanted to beat me up. They wanted to see, but next day I came with 2 butcher knives. Jump on me today. So, choices.
Is that a gang member or a gangster though? I think that's a gangster.
It's all wrapped into one. Everybody put emphasis on all this other shit. I'm a gang banger. Shit I do, you can consider to be gangster, but growing up, none of that shit was gangster. I'm raising my grandson. That's gangster. I took care of my mother for 2 years fighting cancer. That was my gangster. That was my truth. So I'm totally different now. But back then, I was a gang banger. Yeah. Wasn't gangster, nothing gangster about it.
now when you say you didn't have a choice, is that because in the 3rd grade or even just growing up, you didn't have a male figure that you could look up to?
Oh no, I didn't have no.
What's the reason that somebody as young as a 3rd grader, you're what? Let's say 10, 11 years old, maybe?
No, younger than that.
9, 10 years old, right? 10 maybe, yeah.
3rd grade.
So
5th grade, yeah.
3rd grade, I was 9 years old.
9 years old. So is that because you didn't have a male figure in your life to who you emulated, or how did you end up making that? Why was there no choice for you?
Just being angry. I had a father that wouldn't shit. I had a father that beat me every day when he got off his motorcycle or whenever he chose to. My father never took me fishing. My father never did anything with me. No homework, no nothing. My father, I was angry all the time. And the things that my father only taught me one thing is to be angry, to be aggressive, to be destructive. You know what I'm saying? And I was just a bad kid. A bad kid. I chose whatever. You know what I'm saying? So after he got his ass out the house, we went haywire. It was like, well, once he found out I had guns in the house, he said, fuck it, I'm gone. I can't whoop this.
Can't deal with this kid
I
anymore.
can't whoop this motherfucker no more. So it was after he left, you know, it was just the choices I made. And, you know, you get with your friends and you start doing gang member shit, and it escalated. And I had a lot of anger in me, and I took it out on people. And one of the homeboys called me Mob James, and I was him ever since.
That's how you got the name Mob James.
Yeah, and I had to prove it every day I came outside.
Now, does Mob, is that in any way related to Mob, like Mafia, or is it's a different acronym?
Just the Mob.
Just Mob.
M.O.B.
M.O.B.
Yeah.
Some will say members of the Bloods, but I don't know if that's why he
Money only. Money.
over B's.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but.
Now, as a Compton PD, Reggie, would you have to, at any time, let's say, arrest any of your friends that you grew up here who were now gangbangers, or How was it like? Were you born in Compton or?
I was born. Actually, there's a hospital that most of the kids from LA County grew up in or was born at. That was born out here. It was Bellflower Kaiser. That's where you'll hear a lot of kids if they're originally from Los Angeles area is born at that big hospital. But my parents at the time lived in Watts, the Imperial Courts housing projects projects, and that's where my family grew up. My parents, for my mother and father, they were raised in the Imperial Courts housing projects. However, in the second grade, which I was in the second grade, which was 1974, 72, one of those years, I moved to the city of Compton, which was in the same area where James grew up at. We call that area the Mob Paru area of the city of Compton, if we're talking about gangs. I would refer to it as behind the Compton Swap Meet or the old Sears building is where I would tell people I grew up with, because I don't proclaim to be a member of the Mob Paru area. That's where I grew up. Played sports, growing up as a kid, from the Pop Warner football to the Little League baseball and to basketball. And so those are my memories of growing up over there in that area of Compton.
His grandmother and grandfather,
Yes,
and Jackie and them lived in the two houses
next door to
from our left. So me and my brothers used to go and clean the backyard and the yard for his grandmother.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And go to the store for his grandma and grandpa.
Yes.
So
and every Sunday we will go over there, and so naturally we will all be playing over there on the street. And then James and his brothers and sisters, we will either go over to their yard or or they'll be over at our house. And so I've been knowing this joker since like I said, when he was a fourth grader and I was a second grader. And
his daddy was the only one I would let arrest me. Everybody else, I'm gone.
Let arrest you, meaning you wouldn't run away.
He mean with no resistance.
With no resistance.
Because James come off now as old and this guy and all of this, but James was one of those guys that you would call a asshole as a cop. A cop would be like, he's an asshole. He will talk shit, taunt you, give you hell. As a cop later on in life, I didn't start having to deal with that until I started at an early age, at the age of 19. But I always knew James, so I never experienced any of those problems with him. But I have a lot of cop buddies that would probably still to this day say, I hate that guy, Mob James. Now, the good ones, most of them, because they see him and I interacting and on YouTube and podcasts together, and they love his growth. They'd be like, man, I'm glad to see James, how he acts like that. But you're going to always have those knuckleheads, gang members or cops. That's like, fuck James. And fuck you too, Reggie.
But how is it that you guys grew up in the same neighborhood, literally a few houses apart, right? Your grandparents.
Well, he touched on it. And I think the question was how we...
And you led such different lives. Gangbanger.
Well, I had the father.
You went into police.
He touched on it. And that's what, and I didn't mean to cut you off and I apologize, but I just wanted to get that out.
That's what I wanted you to emphasize is you grew up with the father.
But there's no slight to single parent mothers, because there's guys that grew up that had single parent mothers that, did a good job. There's some.
Some, but it's a small percentage.
It's a small percentage, but there's some. So I just didn't want to slight those ones that did do it. But I contributed mainly to my dad. I mean, as even Jay said, my dad was a different type of guy, to be honest. He's the type of guy that come in here with you guys and y'all would have had an hour conversation before this podcast started, because he's a talker. He's a people person. He knows how to talk and work the crowd. And if it's bad people, or people that's quote unquote considered bad people, I talk to them.
Yeah.
If it's politicians, he's watching CNN right now. If I call him right now and he's looking at something on CNN, he can talk in that subject. He loves sports. He's probably on his way to watch some type of high school basketball game or something like that right now. It's just
So your father's still
He
around.
is.
He's still around, your father.
Yeah, good people.
Good.
I've been in trouble a whole bunch of times, and running hopping gates, the whole nine. And his dad had come to my mama and tell my mama, "You tell James to have his ass here. When I get over here, he know he got to go to jail for doing what he did." Okay. Excuse me. I'll be there, and he would arrest me. They came to my house. I was giving a party, and they wanted to arrest me, but I didn't feel like going to jail that day. So I'm resisting. I'm doing the whole nine. And they trying to put me in the car. I'm already knowing what his dad gonna say. But then my brother Buntry went from the other side of the car and pulled me in the car. That's how they took me to jail. But I mean, it was way different. It was way different. Having and knowing him, his uncles, Ulysses, all of them. You know, it was real different. And I can't say they saved my life, but I was talked to when I knew I was fucking up. And they talked to me. So, you know, it was a plus to have Miss Wright and all of them on my block.
That's good that you at least did have an indirect father figure.
He would have been one of us too if Pops would have just left for about 2 weeks.
Well, I appreciate you guys sharing your childhood stories with us as well, because it's important to understand your upbringing and where you guys come from, and how you've let one law enforcement, you went into gangbanging, but then after law enforcement, Reggie, you got involved in a security company, which then you met. That's how you met Suge Knight, correct? Or you grew up with Suge Knight?
I've been knowing Suge since about a couple of years, maybe after I met James and the McDonald's family. I don't remember any interactions with Suge until probably about the 3rd or the 4th grade. And Suge, I think, is a year younger than James. And so that would have been a year or two later. But Suge was one of those, really, I didn't hang, he didn't live like James did, right, 2 doors from my grandmother. But we also played baseball, because that's where we all really got connected at in Compton. Because we didn't go outside. We didn't walk the streets that much, to be honest, at a young age. We just stayed on our blocks. But we all had to play sports together, at the parks and stuff like that. So that's where my relationship is there now. That's where my relationship pretty much came from, was from guys playing the different sports and, growing up. And that's where me and Suge relationship started. But we also it got better when we went to high school, and when we played high school football together. Is where Suge and I relationship began at Linwood High School.
And then then he founded Death Row Records.
Correct.
And you were involved with him during that process, right?
And that was something that grew just because I was doing law enforcement then. He had James in him. James and the guys that James brought over there helped Suge, and they were pretty much his security, quote, homeboys, entourage, confidants, all of that during the early days of Death Row. I came like in 1994, mainly, like I said, had a relationship with Suge, being an ex-cop, but mainly because we had got word or intelligence that things was getting a little out of hand over there for Suge, where guys were planning on doing things to Suge because they wasn't happy with things that Suge was doing and how he was moving. And that's when Suge pretty much came up with the ideal, after, initiating it and offering it the position to my father and stuff like that, was, hey, Reggie, why don't you come over here? And maybe he figured maybe my relationship or me being around would at least keep them off of him, because they figured, I would go and report it back to my dad or whatever. It wasn't because of me, per se. I think it was really because of just my position and my relationship with Reggie Sr., that he felt maybe could balance the ship, for lack of a better word, and that's how that became. The security company came a little bit later, and that was just because of a business opportunity and trying to make some money, and me wanting to be a businessman, to where I came from independently hiring private security companies into operating my own security company. And that happened in like 95.
Basically, what he's saying is, Suge ass was scared, and Suge said, "I need the police to tame these motherfuckers, these gangbangers, and once I can tame the gangbangers, because they talking about doing this and that to me, I can't get rid of them because I got a lot of people who ain't liking me right now. So let me incorporate the police in death row with the gangbangers. So now they not gonna do nothing because they don't want to go back to prison." And all that backfired. Am I right so far?
I wouldn't say the backfire part.
Why it didn't backfire?
Why did it backfire?
Because you got 13 gang members are dead. You got.
But it wasn't the police and the gangbangers.
I didn't say the police did it.
The gangbangers killed each other.
Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
Right?
This dude act like he don't know.
Lie?
No, I didn't say the police did it.
Yeah. So how it backfired by bringing the police in is my point.
I'm saying what Suge did. How many police officers was on death row when death row was over
I
with?
probably had about 30 to 40 at one point.
How many was there? How many of them left? How many of them got in trouble? How many of them this?
Not a one got in trouble.
Nobody?
Not in trouble?
Nobody?
No.
Okay. We're going to leave
Not in
that up.
trouble? Who went to jail? I didn't know none of no Rampart cops. Is that you insinuating?
Was
I did
Suge,
not know not one of them.
Suge tried to play one hand with the other, and it got twisted. In between that whole time that Suge had the police, meaning you, and your people there, and all of the homies, it was issues.
Between who?
In between the goddamn police and the goddamn homeboys.
Who?
Niggas was.
Tell me one
How many Parus was mad at you?
They probably was mad, but they ain't never said nothing. I ain't never had a confrontation with not one behind that shit. I haven't. You might have innuendos or y'all talking among yourselves, but hey, not one of them came at me, confronted me.
I used to tell motherfuckers what they ain't gonna do with Reggie.
Exactly.
I told motherfuckers, I told Reggie, keep your head up.
Yeah, you
know,
did.
they knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But we lost 13 of death row members in between the whole bullshit. And Suge Knight was right in the middle. So I get what you saying, but at the end of the day, everybody lost. Am I right so far?
We all lost. We all sat there with no more death row. And Snoop has it.
Well, I'm glad
Snoop
he
owns
got
death
it.
row now.
He's in charge of it.
He's in charge of it now. So what you're basically, I guess, saying, James, is that is it because there were turf wars going on during that time, or when you say, Suge was somewhat responsible for 13 of your...
Suge was responsible for a lot of it. I ain't gonna put too much on Suge, and I don't like him, so I ain't taking up on him. But a lot of our downfall and homies killing each other was because of, one, they talking about how much bunch you make or how much he made, and why I'm only getting $600 and why he making this much and we do all the same shit. A lot of it was fighting amongst that. A lot of them was he say, she say with Suge Knight, and Suge way with fixing those situations. Here, come down here and get this. Here, I bought that. Fixing it with the money. When you had full-grown gang members, grown-ass men, fresh out the penitentiary, going at each other behind the stupidest shit. It's like throwing a dog a bone and everybody is fighting over it. And here we had the rich dude didn't know how to handle his animals, and he just let them go. You just let them go. And it wasn't no... I say this, I couldn't blame Suge for the way it went because we was all grown men. We all accepted the shit that we was doing. But he facilitated a lot of the anger and the animosity that was on death row.
Now, at the time, or whether it was during those all that animosity going on, with Diddy and Biggie and Tupac, were those guys all friends from what you know, or they had nothing?
Well,
to
they
do?
all started off as friends. Suge and P. Diddy were partners. They all started off as friends.
But Tupac wasn't on death row yet.
No. When Suge was doing and doing all the security guard with Big West, Suge knew all of these guys before Death Row came. So he had friendships with a lot of these guys. Once he got Death Row, it changed. If Suge couldn't get his way with certain individuals, then we mad at you. And it was some guys that met his resistance, had resistance. Went, man, fuck you, I ain't doing that whoop type shit. So he had enemies quick.
Let me put a timetable on timestamp.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The relationships. And so like James said, at the beginning, they all were cool.
Right.
Suge was cool with Andre Harrell, which was Uptown, Diddy, the Jodeci crew, all of these people. We talk Mary J. Blige, all of them. We talking 93, 93-ish. Tupac is cool. He's on his own. He's not with Death Row. He knows Suge, but he's on his own over there at Interscope. And he's cool with Biggie, Diddy, and a lot of guys on the East Coast, and, the Death Row guys. We talking 93, 94. Pac goes to jail 94. We all know the allegations that led up to his being mad with Diddy and, behind Jimmy Henchman and Haitian Jack and all of them and Puffy. So he goes to prison. Suge goes up there, gets him out. Now Pac is believing, and then we have some issues in between with one of James and them homeboys, Big Jake, got shot at a club in Atlanta with Suge. This is like September of 95. Pac come home in October of 95. Pac come home mad because he believed that Biggie, Diddy, Andre Harrell, and all them who was at the studio when he got shot at the Quad Studio in 1994 had something to do about it or knew what was going down and didn't warn you. So he's mad at everybody. So now he's over there with Suge, and so Suge had just lost one of his homeboys in the incident in Atlanta that had allegedly had something to do behind a girl, but, still one of his homeboys got killed by somebody that was affiliated with, allegedly, with Diddy. Then they go out, the Dog Pound, who's affiliated with Death Row, meaning Snoop and Daz and Corrupt and them, goes to a video shoot in December of 95, and Biggie's upset about that because they're doing a song called New York, New York, and kicking over buildings and, disrespect. They took it as disrespect. The Dog Pound guys always said they were paying homage to, to New York, but they took it as disrespect. And Biggie gets on the radio and made some remarks, and they shoot up a trailer. So now Pac is really convinced that Biggie and Diddy and all of them is mad because he's over there with Death Row, who they used to be cool with, meaning, the Dog Pound and Diddy and them, and Biggie. But now they having people shoot up their trailer. And so that's when the whole East Coast, West Coast beef starts. And
now, when Pac, because recently on WAC 100 on Vlad TV said that there's a voice recording of Tupac admitting to be sexually assaulted. Is that true? During his time in prison? Did you hear that or no? As far as the
I know the situation.
on Vlad TV, yeah.
I know the situation. I know the situation. I heard of the situation.
And what are your thoughts on that?
I don't believe that Tupac was raped. And why people keep talking about it and bringing it up. I think it's disrespectful, and I'm choosing not to address that situation anymore. Other than I know where Wack gets the allegation from, and who put it in his ear, but it doesn't make it true that the person that put that in his ear is saying that.
Now, going back to Diddy, there's so many celebrities that have attended these parties. We actually have a clip of LeBron James who's talking about attending some of his parties. Joe, you want to play that real quick?
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
LeBron James gay?
No, shut up.
What was that, James? LeBron James gay. Look, I mean, you've got these LeBron James, right? Billionaire, considered one of the best and basketball players ever to play the game. This guy's attended a Diddy party, and not only that, he's on Instagram.
Chris attended the Diddy party. Chris Brown attended the. Just because you went to the party don't mean you went to the after party.
You don't think he did?
No, hell no. LeBron ain't going for no shit like that. People got brands and stuff like that to protect. They're not going to be talking about it openly on stuff like that when you know you did crazy shit like that in the after party.
So did he pick and choose his victims?
No, did he pick and choose when he does it after the party? You have a lot of people come to a party. Then you see who the people that's down for the after party and you invite them to the party.
But I think James and I agree on this where you can't have attended these parties and not known that something was fishy. I mean, you've got, people being drugged and their drinks being tainted with whatever type of drugs. And I mean, and eventually I think I don't think
there's an interview out there by this guy named the white guy named the Fat Jew, I think. The white Jew, the Fat Jew, something like that. And he talked about how he went to this party, right? And I wish I could find that clip, since y'all play clips over here, because it's a great clip where he goes and says he went to this party, and it was beautiful women at that particular party. And it was a nice party and all this in this big event. But he said he kept walking and walking and walking in the back. And that's where the weird stuff was happening. So his whole point was there was a lot of good people at this particular party and they were doing stuff, but all the crazy shenanigans and all of that was hidden. And so he felt that the women was a front for the party because he said it was nothing but beautiful women at that party. But when he went into the back room, it was nothing but men.
What do you think of that, James? You concur with that, or
Yeah. I believe that men is doing it like women doing it, and the music business is freaky, and that's all over the place. But this the point. A lot of these parties, you don't think they talking about these parties after the parties is over, the next day or the day after? So everybody knows about the party. Everybody know about the
You mean the
P. Diddy
after party?
Freakniks. Yeah. Come on, you can't say
whether
that.
they choose to attend it, they may not have attended. But I agree. I think they all knew about it.
I think you only invite people that swing like that to the party. If I know you ain't about that.
No. Because you're
I'm talking about the
impressed.
after party. I ain't talking about the regular party.
The after party, how can you be a fresh victim? How can you be fresh and you've been here before? So everybody know what they're getting into if they stay after a certain time at Diddy party.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know. A lot of people do it out of curiosity just to see what the hell's going on and then wind up victim or being victimized.
Well, that's the good people. We talking about the rich people, the
Oh,
celebrities.
man, I'm talking about
You
whoever.
talking about the celebrities too?
Everybody is a victim. It don't matter. It don't matter what you got on. It don't matter what you do.
Now you saying LeBron James got fucked in the ass.
I didn't say.
Is that what you saying? Puffy little ass bitch over 6'9".
I was shocked as fuck.
LeBron James and fucked him in the
when
ass.
I'm looking at this clip, I'm like, damn, LeBron James. That caught me off guard. So no, nowhere near, man, nowhere near. But a lot of them that haven't came out yet.
Yeah,
it's gonna come out. And I'm not going to be surprised. They talked about Dennis Rodman for years. And he said it way back in the 80s. I ain't the only one out here like this.
Reg, what do you think of, what's your opinion on TD Jakes?
Keefy D. Keefy D is an individual that...
No. TD Jakes.
Oh, TD Jakes. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
TD. Oh, boy. Yeah, I just hope like hell it don't turn out that he was at any of the after parties. I don't mind TD Jakes. Yes, I do. I hope when he went to the parties, he didn't realize that the parties was as wild as they were, and I'm just talking about the regular parties, that he left, because he was Puffy's spiritual advisor. I'm sure Puffy was giving him a lot of money. And so people would usually pimp themselves, especially some preachers, for that bag, right? I just hope like hell. I hope like hell. It doesn't turn out that he was one of the ones at the after party I keep referring to.
I love how he sugarcoats shit. How do you go to a P. Diddy party and not know? How do you go to a picnic and not know? You a preacher. You shouldn't be nowhere around that. You got way more to lose than a P. Diddy party, a picnic, going to dinner. You should not associate yourself with that, being a man of God. As soon as you walk in there, you see marijuana, cocaine, alcohol. You don't
agree with that, Reggie?
See, this is the cold part about it. People don't want to tell the truth. You go to a party, you see all this shit, these music parties. These videos, you got drugs, you got you got weed, you got drinks, you got everything there that you want. And you gonna tell me when I walk in there, I can't, oh shit, let me get out of here.
I think maybe what you said earlier, the curiosity.
No, for real, no, they sugarcoat shit. And it is what it is. TD Jake, if TD Jake went to more than one party, we got a problem. We need to call Houston because he shouldn't have been there. Go and get mad. Go and tell me I'm talking too much.
I just believe that you go to a party, you're invited to a nice white party in the Hamptons and all of that, it's all good. Once you start seeing the crazy shenanigans going on, then you leave. And I don't believe people just having like, as soon as you walk into the party, everybody handing you platters of snort or cocaine and all of that.
What kind of, this is a P. Diddy party. What party are you going to?
I don't believe. It's some nice crystal, some nice music, some good-looking people, and all of that, but I don't think that's
if anybody in this room believe that that's a normal party.
Yeah, that's what
a Michael Jackson
going to.
Half of a Michael Jackson party. But when you go to parties, them parties like that, everything is involved. Up front. All this bullshit, Jim Cristal and we just gonna dance and listen to the music bullshit. It don't work that way. And everybody ain't gonna stay for it. So what they showing you on the cameras and all that, turn the cameras off and let's see how they boogie up in there. Come on, Reggie. Keep it 100.
That's what I'm hoping. I said I hope I don't find out that he was at the after party.
TD Jake. They got videos of TD Jake on the stage dancing.
That wasn't at a party. That was at a concert. He was drunk.
Whatever.
Men of God drinks. Newsflash.
Should he do it in public?
He should do it. Well, I come from the old school preachers where I don't want to see my pastor drinking.
Okay, so what are you talking about?
But they do.
Okay, but you don't do it in public like that and act a fool in public.
And who knows? Maybe that's how he celebrated. Who knows he was drunk? He appeared to be drunk.
Okay.
He appeared to be drunk.
I'm not going to sit here and watch you every Sunday telling me I believed in TDJ. I wanted to turn back. I wanted to get my guns and go back to the street after I seen this shit. Because why am I believing in the preacher?
You ain't supposed to be believing in the preacher. You're supposed to be believing in the word.
Listening to the word, Reggie.
Yeah.
See,
just because, a fucking wino on the
I'm
corner
not talking no
could
more.
teach you something about the Bible. Niggas in jail. I learned more stuff when I did a little time for some marijuana possession. That marijuana possession in jail than I learned from any preacher. Those niggas in jail that was holding Bible studies.
But they was
and stuff.
preaching the word of God to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't say, but I idolized them. I was into the word. Get into the word, not the man.
So I'm
Follow
going to
the
say
word.
that. I listen to TDJ. If you go on my phone on my Facebook page, I done shared some of his quotes. And when I saw that and then I seen his breast jangling and shit and stuff.
Did that change the word?
It pissed me off.
Okay, it might piss you off.
Because
but did it change the word?
Man, this
the
is
good
self-righteous,
word
man.
that you got, did it change that word?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's what you're supposed to be following.
So it doesn't matter if the preacher, the man himself is not leading by example. You just follow the word.
We don't know what they doing at home. Your preacher could be up there and they never got caught on camera. We don't know what he doing. His wife probably said, "Do y'all know that nigga be in the corner jacking off and shit?" We don't know what he does. We listening to the word.
He basically saying the same thing I'm saying, but you're sugarcoating it. I'm just saying that I liked the TDJ. I liked it the way he expressed himself when it came down to reading the Bible, or giving me an understanding of what I was listening to. Yeah. Then you turn around and see
him. Did you disregard everything he said after you saw what he did?
No, it was him.
Exactly, it's the word.
I attacked the body. I attacked him.
Okay.
I hated him.
But everything you learned from that word that he had taught you is still stored in you, right?
It wasn't a thought at that time. I wasn't thinking about nothing he was talking about. It was why in the hell, why am I listening to this man? And he homosexualist.
The guy that taught you how to do math, that did 2 + 2, right? And then you found out he was a fucking homosexual.
There you go. You sound like that guy over there with that bullshit.
Did that change you learning
what
how
that
to
got
add
to do with being
2
a homosexual?
+ 2? My point is, what a person does change what you learn. And what you learn from it is all I'm trying to say.
You stuck on that. It didn't change the word that I learned from him. Gotcha. I looked at him as an individual, a man of God, and that just messed me up because here this man is preaching and making all this money.
Yeah.
And he preaching to me, and here I am trying to fight. Who in the hell I am? I'm a son of God, I'm the devil. Is I'm going to fight with God or am I the devil? Yeah. TD made me say, motherfucker, you the devil. Go out there and stop doing what you're doing.
Follow the word, not
Come
the man.
on back home. That's what I did.
Follow the word, not the man.
I'm still here.
All right.
Reggie?
Yes, sir.
There are videos like Diddy calling Meek Mill daddy on Instagram. Why are rappers... How come they become so feminine these days? What do you think the biggest difference is?
Well, it don't bother me. They can call each other daddy, uncle, mama, whatever they do. That's them grown men. But is it nasty? Yes. If they're doing it, if they publicizing it, why should anybody be mad? They out there in the open with it.
Well, let's watch this clip real quick. Maybe it'll change your perspective. Joe.
King son. Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Have you seen that video? Or
I don't like none of P. Diddy videos with none of them guys, especially when I see him bent over. We already know him, right, Reggie?
You know,
it's sad.
Meek Mill's stocks is going down. He's been, and I'm one of those who believe when you attack something, and he's been over aggressive attacking Diddy online. There's some smoke. And then also when he let the Mr. Rubin guy, the guy that always giving the white parties, I can't think if it's Rick Rubin or Michael Rubin, I forget his first name, had him jumping around on the tennis court. Y'all remember that? Because he said he lost a bet. I just think that this is a guy that's easily influenced. And he may be one of the ones that, on one of those tapes, I'm very much convinced that
I believe he is too.
that he's one of the gentlemen that's going to be on one of those tapes.
Now, multiple events took place between Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records, which led to the killing of Tupac Shakur in Vegas. Diddy allegedly put out a bounty of $10,000 for each Death Row chain and allegedly offered the Southside Crips and Keefe D a $1 million bounty to take for Tupac. Is that any truth to that, or?
Well, we heard of the bounty. I don't know today in 2024 if it was after the incident at the Lakewood Mall or before that we learned of the bounty for the Death Row chains. A lot of people online that would like to try to put out that was a staged event or not factual event, which I can tell you has definitely happened. The $1 million was for Suge and Tupac, as I have always heard it. I think it's just like me and James and you and Arnold having a conversation, and I'd be like, I hate that guy doggone Michael Jackson, or just throwing out a name. Man, you take him out, I'll give you $1 million. I honestly believe that's how the conversation went, but I don't know. But I do believe Keefe D when he makes the statement that the money was offered to him for taking out Suge and Tupac. Whether that's the reason that they did it on that particular night, I don't believe it. I believe that it stems definitely straight from the assault at the MGM, which gangbangers, unfortunately, that's their get down. That's their mentality. But I believe he also, Keefe D was motivated knowing that he had that offer on the table and what had just happened to his nephew that gave him the extra incentive to go and retaliate that night.
Now, you were head of security at the time,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you don't have to answer this if you choose not to, but do you feel in any way responsible for Pac's death, being that you were head of security?
I have never admitted on air or anywhere publicly that I maybe now feel some responsibility for what happened to Tupac, but that's only because of the lack of the experience of the person that I had on him at that time, by not notifying me and notifying people that what had happened or took place at the MGM. Because I can honestly sit here right now to this day and say, I did not know that incident happened at the MGM until after Buntry and Neckbone came to the club and advised me what happened to Tupac and Suge, and then later learned at the hospital, while we up there checking on their, while they both, recovering from the gunshot victims or attempting to recover from the gunshot victims, is when I learned of what happened at the MGM.
Is that when Tupac rushed Orlando Anderson at the MGM? Is that
Yes,
what you?
sir.
Let's go ahead and play this clip real quick, Joe.
Along with Marion Suge Knight, who's a large man in a brown suit, punching and kicking Orlando Anderson. Following this incident, you'll see hotel security intervene, and then they will leave the area of the fight.
Now, James, what would you have done if you were there?
If I was there, Tupac wouldn't have took off, because everybody made a mistake that night, because Tupac was the artist and they weren't paying attention to him at all. Somebody said something to him. he went over there and took off. That had nothing to do with him. He got into something that he had no clue. It wasn't his fight. So for you to say it was your fault, I would blame that on all the homeboys because all the homeboys should have had him. And Suge should have had him. They should have left. Suge should have took Tupac out of there. All his artists should have got out there and let those Compton guys do what they do. And that's what they there to get paid. That's what they get paid for. Bloods and Crips.
And I don't agree with that because I believe Tupac took off so quick that I don't believe the guys that were there had a chance to stop him.
Tupac took off quick. Tupac didn't know no damn Orlando. Tupac don't know no Compton gang members that was. No, wait a minute. Tupac don't know Kippy D. Tupac ain't never seen Orlando. How do Tupac know who to go and take off on? Come on, man, keep it real.
Then we should be saying the person that's responsible is the person that came over there and brought it to the crowd, saying, hey, there's the guy.
Ain't that what I'm just saying?
You said all of them. I'm only talking about one person. I'm just talking about one person.
So after he told Pac, there you go right there.
Then Pac took off.
Okay.
How can you stop that?
You don't think nobody's seen? As soon as Tupac took off, everybody right there. You just saw the clip. Everybody taking off. Montreal of them.
Tupac took off. They chased after Pac once he was over there, and that pretty much knocked the man on.
I say
knocked the man
it
down.
It wasn't Tupac fight.
I agree with you
and
there.
Tupac shouldn't have been nowhere near that. And Suge, instead of being in it, you should have been out the door and left that to the homies. If that would have happened, Tupac probably would have waited out. You think he'd still be here?
I believe the Bible. I believe all our day is written, and I believe that was his date to die, no matter what. That's what my Bible says.
Well, let him get hit by a car on Tropicana.
Yeah.
I'd have pushed his
that part
ass
you
in the
may be
street.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
James, has your impression of Tupac changed since his murder?
My impression of Tupac is the same. Me and Tupac really didn't interact like that.
He knocked you on your butt, I heard. Didn't you hear it? Didn't y'all hear it? Y'all didn't
Boy,
hear
this
it
dude
nice.
lucky I ain't got my gun in my pocket.
I heard it. She should nice that he knocked him on his pockets. That's why he don't look like Tupac.
He think that shit funny.
That's the funniest
That
shit.
pisses me the fuck off.
That's the funniest shit I heard all 2024. I'll be honest. I know it not to be true, but it was still funny.
Said before, if Tupac ever would have touched me and my brother and Suge was there, they wouldn't be here. Two of them already gone. They wouldn't be here talking like that. No, Tupac, no. My whole thing about Tupac is you're trying to represent something that I lived. I've had homeboys die in my arms. I've seen the homie shot in the hood. I have inflicted pain on others for the hood. So ain't nowhere in the world, just because you got money, you finna come to the hood and just represent it. It don't work like that. And for a Trayvon, a Lib Dog, or a Buntry, he from the hood. No, he ain't come to the hood and fight three of the little homies. He didn't come to the hood and this and that. No, you just ain't finna represent it like that. And then putting the mob on his body, I took offense to that. And that was the only problem I had with Tupac. I don't have no other problems with him. We was at the what was that? The MGM.
At the Monty. Or
Where we was at? We was gambling.
Oh, okay.
Niggas slid me $100 chip after they broke me, but I started cussing. They kicked me out. But I mean, good people. But my only issue was that he's representing my neighborhood. You ain't never hung out with Mob James. You ain't never hung out with a Big L. You ain't never did that. So what makes you from here? Because Suge said so? Suge ain't got no clout like that. Trayvon ain't got no clout like that. To say where he's from.
Buntry and Nick Moan did.
That's different.
But they were running with him as well.
They was hanging with him. They ain't told him he was from the hood.
How we know that? They let him do songs. They let him put a tattoo on the back of his arm.
He had that tattoo did.
No, he didn't. When he got that mob.
Well, that's your goddamn fault.
I can't control those niggas and tell them you can't put a tattoo on you.
Man, we need to take a break right here because I'm getting mad at this motherfucker. Excuse my language.
I was there when he got that tattoo. Him, Hammer, and no.
Okay, well, you would have been from the hood, but Big Reds would have killed me. But it just don't work that way for him, and. Every time I expressed that on Bomb First and everywhere else, that was my only problem with Tupac. Is he became arrogant, dealing with Suge and this young man right here and the homeboys, and he represented something that he shouldn't.
Now, and his death basically now ended up causing a war between Bloods and the Crips, right? And your brother Buntry was involved in that too, no?
We already been at war with Crips in Compton.
That's fair.
It intensified the fight, but we already there. Everybody is already there. It's already shooting at this person, that person, and the other. You know, but Tupac, what Tupac did is escalated a situation that was already on fire because of Suge and Puppy. And then when Pac came and then the songs he started making and the words and the shit that he just started putting in the air, it was what it was. But you had two neighborhoods that was ready to fight for their side. And Puppy was paying Keepy D and them good money, hanging out with him. They going places with him. Like Suge had the homeboys going places, cats making money. So just put it like this. You got a lot of cats that been in the penitentiary, ain't had no job, no nothing. They getting a paycheck now. Now they going different places that they ain't never left Compton. And instead of going to prison, back and forth to prison for robbing people, now they getting a check. So when it came to Bloods and Crips, we getting at it with them, it only made sense. I'm going to stick right here for that 600, that 800, that 1,500. And I'm going to fight all these. This is what I'm getting paid to do this, being a gang member. And that's all it was. It went no different. Now, if you can tell me I'm wrong, please say that.
Like you said, for the 2 or 3 weeks, it did cause intensify where the particular neighborhood, Crips and Piru areas, were going back and forth with each other. Yes, to answer your question.
And from the beginning, there were also allegations against you, right, Reggie, as far as that you were some ways tied to the murder of Tupac with Suge Knight's former fiance. Why were there? Where do you believe these accusations started from?
Old white men YouTubers.
YouTubers?
Or DVD or documentary makers that ain't never met Tupac before in his life. Probably didn't even know who the fuck he was. And then they got with people and they figured out DVDs were profitable, and then they came up with the allegations, but they all then came out with different theories or then changed their theories. Now that Keefy D has admitted, he ain't never mentioned Reggie Wright in any of this stuff, and even the biggest one that y'all know of, Nick Broomfield, has admitted in the Rolling Stone, I got it wrong. The documentaries that I did got it wrong.
What are they accusing you of? Being a hoe?
Well, actually, wanting to try to kill Suge and Tupac to take over Death Row. The same documentary people that accused my dad of being in the car with his brother when he got killed.
Right, that's a lie.
These are just the type of people that just make up stuff. And unfortunately, you put it out, and unfortunately, we live in an environment the last thing you hear becomes factual. People are too lazy to do the research and to put common sense. Does that make sense? If James even believed that, would he be sitting next to me and talking to me? They have tell people. I get accused of accusations of people have verified and came up. His brother Timmy Rue, who hates me to the death, went and did an interview recently and pretty much told the guy that was in the car when his brother got killed. But there's still people that want to put documentaries and push things still saying that Reggie Sr. was in the car. Keefe D has told y'all word for word under a sworn interview or proffer agreement where he could have got charged for 25 to life for a drug case if they would have caught him in a lie. What happened? But the documentary people still want to put out, oh no, we believe Reggie did it. Reggie had something to do with it. He had more to gain from it.
Speaking of Keefe D, is it true that you worked behind the scenes to help Keefe D bail's denial with WAC 100?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah, as being a black man and all of that, people would say, you're wrong for doing that, going against another man and all of that. Okay. I despise, he turned our world upside down for what he did to Tupac Shakur. I believe that's just a little the vindictive side of me didn't want to see him back on the streets. Keefe D started making a mockery of this YouTube and this social media world to me, where it got offensive to me to some of the things he was saying. For a buck, if he would have came and did like he did on the BET Chronicles and the interviews that he did originally, then fine. But then he started going on an Orthodox Law Channel and all of that, and he started making fun, saying when Tupac got shot, he was breakdancing and shaking and all of that stuff. He saw him dancing and just the things that he was saying. In my opinion, I started taking offense of. And so that's why I had grown animosity towards him. Most people don't know I'm the one that really introduced this YouTube stuff to Keefe D. When I'm saying that, to say I'm the one that passed his number to Vlad. I'm the one that passed his number to Art the Dialogue channel and Cam Capone channel. That was just me trying to help the brother make some money. But I didn't know it was going to become an entertainment factor for him. And to get the truth out, because I knew what he was telling. So I wanted people to hear the truth. So all the DVDs that were done prior to that, this old white man, I can't stand him, putting out the DVDs, pretty much accusing me of being involved in the murder. Is the reason why I facilitated and wanted Keefe D to get out there and tell the story.
Now, this is for both of you, if you guys can go back to 1996, what would you change?
Nothing. I wouldn't be here today if I changed anything in my past. I probably wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't change nothing.
1996, would have saved a lot of money that I made from 94, 95, 96, and that I blew. But other than that, of course we can easily say, told Tupac to act like Michael Jackson would act. Y'all got into a fight at the MGM. Y'all need to stay in the hotel tonight. Y'all can't go to the club and go partying. Is that what you want me to say? If I would have said that, Tupac would have told me nigga, well, you can stay your ass here. I'm going to the club tonight.
Yeah.
That's what you want me to say. That's what
I want you to say exactly
that's
what you feel like
saying.
Yeah.
Say. Or Tupac should have never been. He should have sat in prison the rest of the 3 years and never came to death row.
No, he should have minded his business.
Well, that part too. So we can money back, quarterback a lot of things. But I'm not one for if I could have, would have, did it, should have. That's what folks always say, right? If I could have, would have, should have.
Yep.
I'm not one for that.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your Monday to join the WiseNuts.
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 How do you like the name?
I like Wise Nuts.
Wise
Y'all
Nuts.
excuse me
So
for
y'all-
cursing on your show, but sometimes this cat right here pisses me the fuck off. And he say the dumbest shit sometimes. And I know he thinks the same shit with me. I'm cussing like a motherfucker.
As long as you don't cuss in Armenian, you're fine.
Okay, we good.
I just wonder why y'all let this man sit with this bottle holding it the whole time, distracting me.
Well, they gave me water and they tried to give you some.
I know. From
You
Joe,
sitting over there.
but y'all don't let no guy smoke cigarettes on y'all podcast and hold a bottle. The
I
whole
ain't smoking
time.
a cigarette.
I didn't say that.
I've been wanting to say cut for the longest, man.
So you go smoke one, huh?
I want to go now. But I appreciate y'all having
Yes,
me.
we do too.
And it's always good for me because this is my therapy.
Correct.
Talking about a lot of the shit that I don't, talk to people about. And I'm good. I feel good every time I do an interview, every time I talk. Y'all say something different than the next person. Now I can express it that way. So,
Well, we
Shout
appreciate
out to
you
my boy
guys.
Arnold for helping Arnold and Ahmad and all of them set up this interview, and I appreciate you guys, Wise Nuts, and y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you.